Hi, this is Breath of Fiction. This is our second episode, and we actually, you might have noticed, have gained a new member from last time. Again, I am God Bro, and the rest of these lovely guys are the other Breath of Fiction members. And
Aw, she
today,
called me lovely.
you ruined the moment! But we have a new
It's my
member.
job.
You might notice. So Rad, can you introduce yourself? Name, what works you're working on, and any interesting things about yourself. Okay?
Nothing.
Oh, of course. But then again, nothing is something. Paradox. Yeah, let's not go there. But hey, guys, glad to be here. Thanks for letting me to be part of this wonderful experience. For those of you who aren't familiar, my name is Radicor, but on the Discord, I also go by the username Stressed as Desserts. As for why, put it in front of a mirror and you'll figure it out. And my current fan fictions for K and Y, which I'm working on, are Kimetsu no Yaiba Rogue, which tells the story of a soldier who was once a demon slayer and is now trying to fight demons in a way that separates himself from the demon core. So he is functionally separated from the core and is fighting his own way, using what he's learned from the core, and he's more militaristic in that respect. I also am working on a second one, although I haven't released it. Although I did start it before Rogue, and it's called Kimetsu no Yaiba Satya, which means truth, and it involves bringing the Buddhist Hindu pantheon idea of demons to the Kimetsu no Yaiba world. It's a big world building exercise. I came up with this idea after speaking with Sparta, actually, on my
Hello.
first or second day on the Discord. So shout out to you, buddy. But it'll be released once I'm feeling comfortable and. But yeah, as for interesting stuff, uh, besides being a big weeb, I actually do. I'm that person who actually does Japanese sword fighting in kendo, and I do it to such an extent that I have a black belt in it.
Nice.
Fight me, bro.
Let's go. I'll get my shinai right now. Let's go.
I'll
I'll
get
run.
I'll
I'll
get
drive up
my
to wherever
bro
you
I
are.
have a
staff.
lightsaber.
Yeah,
I'll
well,
get
trust.
my bro
Okay,
staff to
then
fight you.
you get your lightsaber. I'll
lightsaber.
get my boken. I'll get my bakken, and then we'll duke it out there. Nitoriu sword style. Let's go.
Let's fucking
Nitoriu.
go.
Oh
No, I
my
actually know
god.
how to do that to an extent. I'm not as compared to regular style, not as much, but I can fight with two swords, like Musashi from who did the Five Rings.
Oh my
Or
god.
Inosuke.
You know, the thing is, to a kendo practitioner, if you ever see someone wielding two katanas like that, that's not actually what you would see in kendo. Like that's just some
Well,
sort of
yeah,
yeah.
because you want to use swords with two different lengths.
Yeah, that's why the left one, like, because the left hand is usually where all the power comes from. That's the one you would use the big sword, and then you would draw the tanto or short sword using your right hand, and that's the one you use to direct.
Exactly.
Yeah, the right one you would use it to like deflect blades coming at you, and then you would smash the left one down wherever they're exposed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
And anyway, if you can't tell by the shit posting, hi, this is Dan, also known as DCC Rules.
I feel like they would know you already, Dan. I mean, you guys
Yeah.
are the originals.
Mm-hmm.
And today,
And
actually,
I'm
if I'm not
infamously a
mistaken,
shit poster.
oh yeah,
If you've heard anything by me before, the second I open my mouth, you're like, oh, it's that guy. Sparta, who are you?
Who am I? Oh, I guess I'm a writer.
the guy with the Love Live profile.
Yes, indeed. Well, actually, it's Freddie Mercury and Maki Nishino put together.
Oh wait. Oh my god.
She's gonna make a
Oh,
supersonic man out of you.
Oh
oh
no!
my
Here we go!
god.
Here we go!
Which is related to a Love Live fanfic I have.
Oh
Let's
man!
not go down that rabbit hole today. We're not doing Love Live. We're doing Kimetsu no Yaiba crossed with Avatar.
Avatar: The Last
Indeed.
Airbender, not Avatar the movie. Just to keeping it clear.
Mm-hmm.
Either of the
Wait, there was a
movies.
movie?
By James
Oh,
Cameron,
don't-
the highest grossing in the
It was
world
Aliens.
until
don't go
recently.
see it.
Yeah,
Oh, you mean appropriating Native American culture with blue people?
basically
Yeah.
yes.
Well, oh wait,
Well,
you guys aren't talking about the last Airbender movie.
No, that's
What
that's a
last
can of
movie?
worms we don't want to open there, Snack. Let's not.
We're gonna
let's
pretend
not.
it doesn't
There is
exist.
no can of worms. There is no movie.
Oh
in
yes,
Boston
they're
Town.
right. Yeah, that's right. There is a live action Netflix coming though, thankfully,
Hmm.
and at least
Yeah,
the
the,
Apparently, they
creators will
want
be
to turn
involved
it
with this
into
one.
garbage and sexualize
yeah.
it.
Mm,
The other the other Avatar is basically dances with wolves, but with aliens.
Oh my god.
Dances with aliens.
Okay, look, the creatures are designed pretty cool though. Okay,
They
you got
are.
I do
at
Honestly,
least it's
not a
appreciate.
bad movie, but they need to change the name.
I do appreciate like the idea of like having a world where you can physically connect your like nervous systems. That is quite intriguing. I will give it that. But
mm-hmm.
but
That
yeah,
is
okay, but just
Well,
to get back on
the reason.
topic, I will just a quick disclaimer. Since we're talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender, if you have not watched it or are planning to watch it, you might find some terms we're about to use here odd or spoiler. So if you don't feel like you understand, try to listen along and figure it out. But if you don't want spoilers, we highly advise you go watch the series before coming back to this. But yeah,
yep.
And
anyway.
then watch Korra because it's actually really good, and Nickelodeon tried to sabotage it because they're dicks. But Korra was worth it.
As always.
Since
Yeah.
when has
Um,
Nickelodeon not tried to sabotage things? I mean, they rejected
they try to sabotage glitch text.
They
You know?
rejected Adventure Time of all things from their lineup in favor of Fanboy and Chum Chum. They sabotaged themselves.
Yeah. Didn't they axe Butch Hartman?
Yes, they finally
They
Yeah,
after
but that was yeah.
I mean
That was
after Fairly Odd Parents sucked by trying to bring in its third original character that wasn't original in the original,
it
just
was
Cosmo
Mary
Wanda.
Sue.
Yeah. Then Butch Hartman's like, you know what? I've had enough of them and the Bloodsuckers at Nickelodeon trying to ruin everything. So then he left. But that means we will never get a Danny Phantom sequel, and that saddens me.
To be fair, Butch Hartman is kind of a meme in himself.
Yeah, and Butch Hartman actually started concepting a Danny Phantom sequel, so don't count him out yet.
No, but does Nickelodeon own the rights to it? That's the real problem here. Because if
How?
Nickelodeon still owns the rights, then we're not getting it until like
Yeah,
50
but
years when the rights
but
expire.
they're but Danny Phantom fans own pitchforks and
Hey,
torches.
guys, getting a bit off track here.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank
sorry.
you,
We
Yeah,
thank
came
you.
here for
I
the
was
That's what
yeah.
Avatar,
I'm
The Last
trying to say.
Airbender. Let's
Allow me
let
to
it get
be
back to
on
that.
track. Okay, so first thing I want to start off discussing with Avatar is, you need to pick your avatar. And I think the most obvious answer is Tandra, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the previous avatar would be Yorichi.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Cut and dry, pretty easy. Now here's the suggestion I'm gonna make. Muzan is a dark avatar.
Hmm.
This is a Korra aspect. Korra got into the spirits more.
So
There's a
he's
light
like
spirit and a dark spirit. Muzan has a dark spirit, he's a dark avatar. I'm calling
okay,
that.
okay.
So he's like
Oh yeah,
Tonrak.
that makes
So he's like Tonrak from an essence. But is
That's a
but
good
is
idea.
Muzan the original Dark Avatar, or are they just another like Tanjiro and Yorichi, just a the next one in a long line?
It's up to you guys. It's up to whoever decides to write this.
I
Hmm.
would
I feel a question like that depends a lot on how you want to approach certain aspects of the story. For example, Yorichi has a brother, Michikatsu. You want to have Michikatsu in the story because he becomes Kokushiba.
Hmm.
So, is Kokushiba really old? When does Yorichi die? How old? Like,
Hmm.
because you have to have at least, wait, what, 16 years gap between Yorichi and the start of the series because that's how old Tanjiro will be, roughly. So, you know,
I
is
mean, in theory, yes
Michikatsu.
and
Yeah,
no. I mean, you could say that because don't forget, like, if you decide, depending on what the writer decides to do, they could make Yorichi live long, die. Tanjiro's born, but then Tanjiro like goes into suspended animation like Aang did. So it
I
could be
mean,
along those
yeah, they
lines.
could make
I
yeah.
mean, they don't even have
Well,
So,
to.
something.
Oh, like I mean, they don't even have to make the spirit like live human lifetimes. Like, because for example, if you wanted to make, if you could say like the idea of reincarnation and rebirth is only specific to the light spirit, the light avatar, which Tanjiro is like, because passing the torch, like the beauty of humanity. Whereas like the actual pursuit of
yeah.
immortality could be classified by the dark spirit, and Muzan's immortal for that reason.
And
Hmm.
this
Well,
is what I'm getting to. Is depending on how you want to do the time spans, characters like Muzan and Michikatsu slash Kokushibu, you could argue that their spirits are making them live longer or live forever, or they're stopping their aging. And that's the question I kind of wanted to get into of how do you want to do the time span? Is this relatively recent, like did Yorichi die young? Or is this, you're getting into some deep history shit where it's like you have these people who
Hmm.
aren't dying.
Well, I think we
Yoshi
need to
is
ask
like
another
Boomy
I think we need to ask another question before we
or
answer that.
Kyoshi. I mean, Boomy and Kyoshi live to like super long lifespans, like
Very
naturally, and
fair point. Very fair point.
one of them wasn't even
Mhm.
an avatar.
But don't forget, for 100 years, Aang was physically locked in the Avatar state until he was freed. That
Yeah.
itself provides a massive stress on the body, which could explain why he didn't live as long as some of his previous
Yeah.
Another great
companions.
point.
But
So it's like the
back,
mother.
yeah, kind of. But
Like,
I feel like this might be a little bit of a dick move, but I feel like to answer that question about timeline, DCC, we need to ask another question. Are we going to include breaths in these, and is Yorichi still the founder? Because if he's not the founder, we have more room to play with in terms of timeline, because at that point, we can just say, like, oh, it's not necessarily passing the torch along. Like, because then it would be quite recent. Like, the whole history aspect of the core, which we see in regular canon, wouldn't exist unless Yorichi was functionally old, and not, like, at the beginning of it, for more or less.
Mhm.
Well, I feel like Yorichi would kind of fit in as a sun spirit, uh, because uh,
yeah.
in the original universe, there's the moon,
Yep, the
and the
fish.
ocean, and we never saw the earth, of course.
Well, there's tons of
So
spirits for everything. There has to be.
yeah, so uh, I think it would be pretty fitting if Yorichi was the spirit of the sun.
But then that would
Oh,
mean
yeah.
that mean he's an avid he's in the but then if he's the avatar, then what does that mean
Yeah.
in reference to his
That's
relationship to
that's the only
Tanjiro?
conflict is you can have him be the spirit of the sun, but then he's not the avatar. But this is the
Yeah.
reason why I'm gonna say don't make any specific characters actual like spirits representing key objects, because look at the end of season one. What happens when you kill a spirit?
Another one has to take its place.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, when you kill a spirit, the physical representation of that spirit, in this case the moon, disappeared until the life was restored.
So if
Mhm.
Yorichi is dead and you're gonna kill Michikatsu, well, you're losing your sun and your moon unless you have people replace them.
Then if you
And then
lose the
everything.
sun, then that's not a story. Basically that's just extinction.
You're fucked.
Which is why I'm like more on the fence about let's make characters actual spirits instead of spirit possessed, maybe, or like
Hmm.
spirit chosen.
So, do you
Maybe,
Well,
think
I
do you
kind of
think
like
it
uh,
could be like the spirit like put it this way, if Yorichi is a sun spirit or anything, it could be like maybe the light spirit is like an enhancer or a symbiotic with other spirits of its choosing. And then you could make spirits based off that. And then eventually it's inherited by another worthy person at the end of the day.
Okay, so I got a crazy thought. You guys could nix this right now. What if Muzan isn't even in the story? Muzan was a previous Dark Avatar, and Kokushibu and Yorichi were both born as avatars. One with the light spirit, one with the dark spirit.
okay.
That's just Naruto Indra Asura right there.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I didn't think about that.
What if Muzan was just like a Fire Lord or something?
Yeah,
But I
well,
feel like that would be
well,
too simple.
Well, the
Yeah.
world of Avatar is never that simple though. Like you see,
Yeah.
like when you look at it, like you have the mortal world, like like that kind of sense, and then you have the spirit world, but then you have the Avatar just serving as the links. But even
Yeah.
between, like once you go beyond that, like you have the big bads of the spirit world versus the big good of the spirit world, and then you also have like the more gray area of the real world with the Fire Nation, because like Fire Nation wasn't all until at least 100 years ago wasn't always that
Yeah.
warlike. So
Yeah.
if we want to go that route and Muzan is not necessarily the big bad, then who is the big bad conceptually speaking? Or rather the series of big bads? Like that's the question I'm interested in.
The Doctor.
That's a
Yeah,
good
Oh.
thought.
the doctor.
But the doctor, in a way, could be the dark spirit. I forget
Mhm.
his name. Batu.
Neither.
Yes.
Batu.
No, his name. Oh yeah. Batu. But yeah.
No,
But the
Vatu. You mean
Doctor's
the
name is
doctor or
Airbender.
Vatu? Because I knew Vatu. I wasn't sure the doctor's name.
Yeah, we
Yeah, the
don't got the
Doctor is
doctor's name.
never named.
The doctor was
I could
never
have sworn
named.
he
He's
was.
Demon Slayer.
Huh.
Nope, he wasn't.
Oh,
Haven't
you mean
ever
from D?
watched
Oh,
Doctor Who? They never
okay. No, no,
explain
no, no, no.
it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought we were referring to the one of the doctors in Avatar. I didn't realize, not the one in Kimetsu no Yaiba. Okay,
No, it's
okay, okay,
okay.
okay, okay. I get it. I get it.
Let me see if I can make my facepalm audible. Everyone, shut up. Do you hear that?
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
be nice to
Ow.
the red.
What?
Oh.
What am I doing?
Well, I mean, doctors would be water tribe or healers, or like fire tribe, Fire Nation healers, because Fire Nation.
Well, well,
Fire
how
Nation
Actually,
many?
can do that
masseuses.
too.
No, but then again, how many different animes, cartoons, and whatever have doctors in them? Like, I wasn't certain like what we were doing here.
All
But
of
if
them.
yeah, no, that's the point though. But if we're
Doctor
referring no, but
Stone.
now that yeah, but now that we're trying to establish the idea of the Doctor from Getsu no Yaiba is the Dark Spirit, I understand this now. It makes sense to me. So sorry about that.
Okay, so quick
It's
going
okay.
back to plot. Um, one of the big
Hmm.
leading A plots in Kimetsu no Yaiba is always Tanjiro and Nezuko. Tanjiro's trying to save Nezuko. So
Mhm.
we have to ask ourselves, what peril do you put Nezuko in this situation? And I say spirit possession. Make that the big
Mhm.
plot of the story because one of the cool things you can theoretically do is have spirits pass bending onto humans. We don't see it outside of Rava and Batu, but it's theoretically possible.
Well, I mean, we do see spirit, like we do see what happens in Korra, when a spirit enters a human for a brief period of time, like it morphs them into something that doesn't look human. So it could be
Oh
like a
yeah, so
spirit. It could be a
demon.
spirit that like possesses Nezuko, and then both are locked together for whatever reason. Or it could also be like maybe Nezuko had a light spirit, but it started getting corrupted because spirits can also be corrupted as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, we know spirits can be corrupted. That's what season
That's what Korra season
two.
2 basically said.
Yeah,
Hey, so, what about the doctor is a spirit, and when Muzan killed the doctor, it was equivalent to him corrupting himself and the spirit.
that's a good
Oh,
thought.
Mm.
That is
that's
The
a
a very
Doctor
good
could
good
be the
thought.
plot.
original Vatu, and Muzan could have become the new Vatu.
Exactly.
Wait, I got an idea. What if the Doctor was what if the Doctor was originally the two halves into one thing? And then upon killing the Doctor, the spirit
It split
separated
into two
because the
spirits.
malice from Muzan forced that split and Vatu and Rava to manifest, and then were split ever since then.
hmm
It's a
Okay, that,
thought, but then what would be the combination of light and darkness?
No, but
It's like,
uh,
what do you get when you
Wouldn't
put a yin and a yang together?
yin yang
balance.
balance.
and
Yeah,
Exactly. It's
balance.
the same thing.
Kung Fu Panda? That's what you
No,
get.
but are we saying no? Because from what it now from what it sounds like you're saying with like it corrupted the spirit, it makes it sound like Vatu wasn't always this dark spirit, and then for some
Well,
reason he
no,
became.
Vatu. You can argue that Vatu could be a good spirit, like in personality wise, but it always has to represent darkness. It's not necessarily darkness is not evil. That's been something that's well established across media. Darkness is not evil.
Well, I
However,
Yeah.
understand this.
darkness
I
wants
was
to
just
make
on
things.
yeah. I was just under the
Well,
impression of something else was going on, but yeah.
well, if we're going with the idea of Muzan splitting like this like the doctor basically, then um it could be that Muzan only like took in the dark or like the evil part of the spirit, while Rava um was which was the light part of the spirit, had to um manifest with someone like Yorichi.
Yep. Was on really like, yeet. I don't want
Hmm.
you anymore.
And like I'm fine with that idea. My only question is then, what would you call that original spirit that was Batu and Rava mixed? What do you get
It's
when you
like
fuse light and dark?
Omatio, like from Aztec
Well.
mythology, which is
Hmm.
everything. Um, they they're like these all powerful beings separated from
Hmm.
her reality.
Well, from a
But that
What
was
cos
the
about
first thing I thought of.
well, I mean, from a cosmic standpoint, when you put at like if you look at like the Big Bang, everything exploded and get it. if you look at the universal theory, and that Stephen Hawking created, it said that our universe was born from a black hole exploding, which is basically everything getting, which is the black hole itself is basically a giant mass so dense it can use to compress, compress, and press. So if you were to combine, at least from a mythological standpoint, light and dark, you would get the preceding form, which would be chaos, which is everything and nothing at the same time.
Yeah,
So it could be, and then when you combine like two things, which should be separate, or rather can exist, but it's quite delicate. The balance is quite delicate, and then a slight rumble can or drip or ripple in the water, in essence, can cause it to violently split apart.
Which is kind of what we see happen with Avatar 1.
Basically,
Upsets the balance in his life. But now, if we're going back to chaos, don't you feel that's putting Muzan too early in the story?
well, chaos isn't necessarily bad or good either, though.
Well, no, but it's original. It's progenitor. It's the start. So you're saying Muzan existed during the reign of chaos before things started to take form. I feel we're taking it too far back. I think having him just be a dark avatar is a good medium, and maybe just have the Doctor be Bob. That's just my thought.
I mean, the way I was thinking about what you were just saying is quite this. Like, yes, he would have to be near the beginning of creation, but not necessarily. Like, if you remove, like, let's say you take all the elements, like, and relatively speaking, like water versus fire, like, wind versus earth, right? If you were to physically separate wind and earth from there, the water and fire would still be combined and be in balance. It's just that less. It's just that entire pool of existence is now smaller, but still in balance. So, in theory, creation could be. It could be like in theory, like creation comes from there. Like different parts are separating from the original until only light, the embodiments of light and darkness as spirits exist, still fused together, and then they finally split once one of the things that came beforehand caused that split.
Okay, that's fair. I see where you're going with this.
Right.
So then we could say that Muzan is the first Dark Avatar, and have a similar backstory as Avatar 1, but going the opposite direction.
Instead of good boy, he's a bad boy.
He wears a leather jacket and rides a motorcycle.
And has a mohawk and wears a bat and rides around with a bat.
Oh God, I can't imagine him in a mohawk. That is a terrifying concept.
So
Someone
right now
gets
we're
Zara to
getting.
draw
You
that.
seem perfectly fine with Genya with a mohawk.
Yeah,
Yo,
because
Genya looks dope with a mohawk.
Genya's adorable. He looks cute in a mohawk. Muzan would
Speaking
just
of
look
Genya.
sleazy.
Speaking of
Uh,
Genya, he's a non-bender, correct? We're all agreeing he's a non-bender.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
What if he's a chi blogger? Because remember, he can't do breaths, but he can do like repetitive
Yeah.
actions. So he needs like
Well,
What if he's
something
a-
like that.
Yeah,
Or he
so
could just have a gun.
he could use his gun to chi block. He could shoot people in chi points and then stun them.
Absolutely.
Bang, bang, right in your fucking
Like, I mean, it does work well. Like
Chakras.
if
Bang, bang in the
bending,
chakras.
yeah, if bending is the equivalent of breathing, then chi blocking is the equivalent of repetitive actions, because technically any bender could also learn
That's
chi
fair.
blocking.
God, if someone who doesn't watch Demon Slayer, if they stumbled upon this video about Avatar, and we were like, bending is the equivalent of breathing, I think.
Oh,
It's
no.
sounded long.
You
You see, no, now that you said that, everyone watching this is gonna have thoughts like that. Great job.
I can't live without bending.
I am bending.
I am bending while I am breathing.
Suki just doesn't breathe, okay?
She's not
Bending,
alive?
like breathing, is an illusion.
Oh, man.
Go do not breathe.
But now, do you think Genya could be made jealous enough that he could be coerced to take on a spirit so that he could bend? Do you think he could be tricked into that, and that could be something that he struggles with?
Well,
Similar
here's
to
the... Well,
what
let's...
Nezuko might go through.
Well,
Like,
let's...
but how would a spirit help him bend?
Well, I mean, I can see, yes, but that itself means, like, we have to address two other things. One, in canon, Genya would most likely not want to accept help from any demon because he's seen what happened to his mom and what Sanemi is going through,
Fair.
right? So
Fair.
if we try to do like saying he's accepting help from a dark spirit in this particular AU, that would mean Genya is not aware, or rather there's not that much tragedy to his backstory, because he would have, because if he knew like dark, let's say for all intents and purposes a dark spirit infested person killed his family, like he knows that getting into a deal with the dark spirit can bring, so he wouldn't want to
Wait,
approach that
wait,
relative.
what's wrong with Genya just like devouring the spirit? Like,
Well, how would
why,
you
No,
do
but
that?
it means like
why,
no, but it
Well,
means
how
like
would you physically do that? I mean, he could just go eat and
listen,
then
he could eat. He could go to the sacred pool in the North Pole, take a bow and arrow or gun, shoot the moon spirit and
No,
water
no,
spirit's
no, no,
body,
no,
and
no, no.
eat the
Just
flesh.
sticks his
no,
hand
listen,
in,
he
grabs
could
a
just
fish, and takes a
grab
bite.
it out of the water and just devour.
Yeah, no, he could eat. There are spirits with physical bodies in this world, in the
Yeah,
world. So
This
he could eat.
moonfish
He
tastes like
could,
cheese.
and then Kane is like, ah, shit.
This bitch just took a bite out of me.
oh yeah. In case for those of you who
Wait,
don't
wait,
get the
wait. I just
kana,
had a terrible thought. I just had a terrible thought. Kane looks down. Huh. Now two Shinigami brothers have had me. Two of the
oh
Shinigami
no
killed.
no 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 no.
No.
Okay, before people don't understand what happened, I'm just gonna put this out right now. We were discussing this AU earlier in the Discord, and I'm thinking of where we can adapt characters. And I was thinking of Shinobu and her dialogue. So I'm like, you know what? What if we made Kanai Yue and Kanai becomes the moon after the sacrifice? So that way Shinobu thinks every time she says like the moon is beautiful, she's talking about her older sister. And now my man DCC goes over here and is trying to put that into our heads about what's going on with again. You're right here. Oh come on.
My God, you
Tsunemi
know?
is Sokka.
Okay, that I will admit to everyone admitting that I did not think that would make Sanemi Saka of all people. Like putting Kanai
no,
as the moon
no, no, no,
spirit.
Wait,
no,
wait,
no,
wait, wait.
no,
I just had
no,
another
no,
thought.
I did not
Does this
think of
mean
this.
that Duma killed the moon spirit?
Oh,
Oh God.
Wait, that makes him Zhao.
yeah, General, but
Oh,
he's a
but
knight.
a
Well,
waterbending Zhao because he would focus
yeah,
on us.
waterbender Zhao.
But wait,
For him,
Doma.
it's
Wait a
like,
minute.
That's
Wait a
my
minute. If
spirit. That's
Doma,
not bad.
that means Doma's a firebender and not the ice bender.
Why?
well,
Because
he can kill.
well, the thing is, are we making Doma uses ice and cannon? Are we making Doma like closer to the Avatar Zhao and using firebending, or
No.
are we trying to make him
Wait,
like
I
a
think we
rogue
should
water
focus more
person?
on the
He's like an
like
evil
canon with
waterbender.
Doma's
yeah.
main point is that he doesn't have any emotions, so he wouldn't be able to firebend if he
This
didn't have
is
any emotions, right?
Yeah.
well,
So it would
firebending
make
is
more sense to make him kind of like Hama or something. I don't know.
I don't know. When you look at
Hama, okay, listen. I disagree with most well, I don't know if I disagree with most fan interpretations of Hama, but I think her storyline could have been written better than to portray her as an absolute villain in the end. Okay, but that's just my opinion.
I love Talma. She's a great character. She's an evil bitch, but she's an evil bitch with a reason.
she's an
Yeah,
evil bitch with a backstory that makes you at
Like
least understand where she's coming from.
yeah,
her story could be compared to, like a Jew escaping the concentration camps and then, luring soldiers away to kill him.
yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
basically Magneto
That
essentially?
Basically,
Yes!
that's
Oh
just
Oh
my
my
me.
god, I
god.
just clicked that.
wait, that kind of just reminded me of Akaza.
How
Yeah, I think
so?
Hama's a lot more like a Kaza than Doma.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
like,
No,
what bending
but
style should Akaza have?
he's the bender. He'd be a non-bender. Well, actually, here's the thing. He'd be a non-bender, but he'd be weaker after he's possessed because he's not focusing on his martial arts. He's trying to express it through bending, and it doesn't work properly. Maybe he'd also be a waterbender because
Yeah,
Maybe
because
he's a
Koji
chi
brings
block.
like
Maybe he's a chi blocker, gets possessed, and then
oh,
tries
he'd
doing bending.
absolutely Hakuji would absolutely be a chi blocker. Akaza would be a waterbender. And that's kind
Hmm.
of where there's conflict because those methods don't mix. His chi blocking will probably fit better with earthbending, but his spirit wants him to be a waterbender. So that's
yeah.
why there's conflict.
Hmm.
Because one thing I feel like people don't really get about Akaza as a character is that he's someone naturally held back by a situation. Hakuji, if he was a Slayer, would probably body Akaza, not like 99% of the time. Because Hakuji had purpose, he had understanding.
Yeah.
Akaza kind of lost all that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he lost
All
it
he
to an
did was
extent.
simple
He had like
Goku.
a pale reflection of some of his early
Mhm.
desires. Like
I, I,
it's not like, let's put it this way. It's the ghost hand effect. Like you think something is there, but it's really not at the end when you try to
Yeah.
look at it at the end of the day.
I
Look,
feel like
he
Akaza might.
even wasn't loyal to Koyuki. He went to simp over in Goku. You know?
Okay, no. We're not going there, Kajima. Let's not.
I feel
He
like
he
Akaza
simped.
might
Hey,
be
he
like a
simped
firebender.
over Tanjiro momentarily, and then simped over Gyu. So, what are we talking about
He's
here?
simping over everyone.
This is not my Soul Eater AU where I'm making the joke about Akaza being a suit of armor, so technically Kyotaro is inside him.
Okay, now you're just bringing that into it. That's for another. We should have saved that for when we did the next one, which was I think was going to be Soul Leader.
We can do
Mhm.
Soul
So
Eater whenever you want. Anyway,
Yeah.
back on topic before Callie yells at us again. So we already did 2 and 3. Let's discuss Kokushibu. I say Kokushibu should be a false avatar.
Oh, well, actually, yeah, I mean, it makes sense conceptually. The moon is only a reflection of the sun. Well, it's not a reflection, it
well,
only
The moon
borrows light
reflects
from the sun.
the moon
that makes
reflects
sense
the
only if
glorious light
Yorichi
of the
is the
sun.
Avatar.
If
This
Yorichi is the avatar, it could be like maybe Michikatsu is like, and the original Slayers are part of the original team avatar, which is Yorichi's.
yes.
And then, but
Mhm.
the thing
Yeah.
is, at the end of the day, Michikatsu kind of like, and we see in like the rise and shadows of Kiyoshi novels, respectively, he gets they just get he just falls off a cliff in terms of jealousy, and then gets corrupted that way.
Mhm.
He what I would put the way I would put it is he accepts an offer from Muzan to become like an avatar himself. By having a spirit work with him, that spirit is able to change his bending. So he's initially a waterbender, but he teaches himself the other 3 forms by having a spirit fly through him and change his bending, similar to what we see with Avatar 1 in the very beginning. Like
Hmm.
Hmm.
but
I got
before
an
we
idea. Upper Moon 4 Hatan Tengu. That is definitely an airbender if I've ever seen one. Just from the way Hantengu try, like it's a Tengu first of all, and then he's like the negative Jing kind of like because he's the coward, like running away from things, you know?
I can see it. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I have another thought for you. Han Tengu himself is the spirit, but he's possessing multiple people.
So
Oh,
It's
it's
a
that's
good idea. It's a very good idea.
so he possesses an airbend. Well, he possesses a
He
couple of
possesses
airbenders.
4 people.
He
He has
he
one of
possesses
each.
a lightning bender.
Yes.
Um,
A firebender.
he possesses a waterbender who bends plants,
Yes.
and
So
yeah, so he possesses multiple. Okay, that's
So
actually a cool idea.
basically, he possesses a bunch of bending masters, which
Yeah.
which
yeah.
amplifies his strength. Oh yeah, and before I forget about this, I'd like to make Rava um like uh like the Avatar spirit rest in the earrings, uh in a Hanafuda,
I kind of
in
like
the
that.
earrings
That's a good
Yeah.
idea.
that Tanjiro wears because it's passed down from the generations.
so
So
are we saying that every avatar is will possess the earrings, and then that's why Rava chooses them?
Hmm.
I have a thought for you. What if that happens because when Uta dies, it literally breaks Yorichi's heart into 2, so his spirit is almost split into the 2 earrings.
No, but then but then I got a question for you there. If the spirits are bound to the object and not the person, what's to stop someone from stealing the earrings and running away with Rava?
well, Rava would probably only like activate for someone
Yeah.
who wants to.
Yeah.
The spirits don't work. I mean, the earrings don't work on other
So
Yeah,
people.
the
also
earrings are
it,
indestructible then.
it, well, let me put it to you this way: if we say that Yorichi's spirit was split in 2, that's only half of the Avatar spirit. So the Avatar spirit still passes on through the cycle, but if you don't have the earrings, you can't attain the full Avatar state.
Oh, you mean it
Wait,
can't
what
awake? You
about
mean like it can't awaken? Like so,
Yeah,
like let me put it this way. Like
like you
you
can
know
bend
how
all the
Aang,
elements,
you
but
know
you
how
can't Avatar state.
for those of you who haven't, have you guys all read the light novels? Like the comics, the comic the after
No,
the original? No.
Yeah.
I have not.
Okay.
Which-
Do you mind if I spoil it a
I've
little
read
bit?
about them.
No, I don't give a fuck.
I mean, I've read the Demon Slayer like no.
No, not the Demon Slayer, the Avatar comics that come after the series ended.
Oh, I've read some of them.
Okay, if you don't mind, I'm gonna spoil it. I'm gonna. Okay, if no one has any
Go ahead,
objections,
spoil it.
forever hold
Yeah,
your tongue. Okay.
they're not like a huge like development, so it should be fine.
There, no, but yeah. So in one of them, apparently because of changing times, the Aang, and because of, like, the idea of the elements and and the Benders all coming to live in what becomes Republic City and Korra, like apparently Avatar Roku and is trying to tell Aang like that shouldn't happen, and then Aang cuts him off spiritually, and then that prevents him from accessing the memories of every other Avatar before him because he broke the chain. So, relative to the
Oh,
earrings
shit.
thing, yeah, relative to Yorichi's thing, but the thing is, Aang was still able to use the Avatar state without meeting Roku. Although once he met Roku, the Avatar state they did become more powerful. Like once he connected with the past life. So, what if the
Yeah,
earrings
So
work like this? You can inherit
so
Rava's spirit, but you won't be able to communicate with the other past avatars and become more powerful, like not awaken the full potential of the avatar spirit unless you have the earrings to do so.
wait.
So then I'm gonna suggest something else to you. Tanjiro doesn't start off with the earrings.
Okay.
What?
Like that's okay, so then is he still like potential for Rava to mesh with though?
Yes, he's still the Avatar. He can still bend the four elements and access the Avatar state, but he needs to find the two earrings, like to reach the full Avatar state. To
Oh,
connect with
that
Yorichi and all the Avatars before.
I mean
okay,
as
that makes sense.
but at that point
So
that
wait,
also
He
means
has
like
power ups.
no, but the thing is the avatar state is basically the culmination of power and experience throughout thousands of generations in the canon of the Avatar: The Last Airbender. So
Yes.
even though Tanjiro could still use the avatar state, it wouldn't be at its peak. It would be like only a pale reflection of what it could be because the earrings aren't there.
Exactly.
Okay, so
Hey guys,
then
I gotta mute my mic for a sec. I'll be right back.
all right.
Alright.
Alright.
Alright, now that he's gone, let's all talk shit about him. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my god.
I muted my mic. It didn't disable my speaker, asshole.
I knew that was gonna happen. So I'm like, okay, nobody say anything. Just wait.
Alright, okay.
So the earrings are kind of like a repository of all the information that the past avatars have, maybe.
Pretty much.
They're like the key to the lock, in essence. Like when the door is locked, like let's say the power is behind the door and the door is locked. The power can struggle against the door, but only a certain amount can seep out through the cracks. And that's what Tanjiro can access before he gets the earrings. Once he gets the earrings, the lock comes off, and then the full power is finally like allowed to come out.
Now should the two earrings be together or should they be separated?
Well, that depends. Like, let's put it this way:
Depends on the writer, honestly.
if there's an, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's true.
that's also depends on some smaller details. Like, for thousands of generations, the people of the Avatar world knew some of the mechanics behind the Avatar. Like, that's why Zhao, when he captured Aang initially, said he's not going to kill him. He's going to keep him there, so that way a new Avatar can't be born. Now, if the enemies of the Avatar know the key of the earrings, they would want to do two things, or three things. One is destroy the earrings. Assuming they fail that, they would want to bury the earrings in a place no one would think to look for, or is it almost impossible to get to. And if failing that, they would try to keep them as separated from each other as possible. So we have to think about that in retrospect.
Because
Oh.
what I'm thinking is you can give one earring to Kokushibu, but he can't get the other earring because Yorichi already had it hidden away.
So when
Question
Yorichi dies to Kokushibo, at the end, in essence, Kokushibo takes one of the earrings, but then realizes Yorichi never doesn't have the second one. So Yorichi hid it in a place where only they would know.
And that would be our swordsmith arc. Wherever we have the swordsmith arc, that battle against Hantengu, that's where he gets the first earring.
Wait, so why doesn't Kokushibu just break the earring or something?
Well, that's what I was having some initial thoughts towards, like the idea
Plot
of
armor.
yeah, like the thing is like
Maybe he
the
just
earrings would
feels,
have
like,
to be
sentimental.
the earrings would have to be essentially indestructible for that mechanic of the earrings being the key and the person being the lock, respectively. Like the
Wait,
earrings,
Yeah,
well
they
maybe
can just be indestructible. I mean,
but then
they
well
don't.
maybe
how
the
would
earring is
that?
like a keepsake like of Kokoshibu for Yoriichi. Is he kept the
Yeah.
flute
No, how
aside from
about
the
this? How about
Yeah, that works too.
I how about something like this? We have the two earrings, right? And they're indestructible only so long as they are separated, and they can only be destroyed by the original Dark Avatar. So, in theory,
I like that.
if Yoriichi hid the first one away, and even though Kokushiba got the second one, Muzan still can't destroy that earring because you need to have both of them together at the same time for it to pop for the breaking to work, in essence.
Also, I know another reason why he can't destroy them. It's something so obvious. Because you can't break the avatar cycle unless they're in the avatar state. The only time you can break the earrings is if the avatar is wearing them and is in the fully realized avatar state.
That is true as well. That is also a good point.
right.
Okay, so
Give
do
me a
you think
minute.
Sparta is
I'll be
finally
back.
gone long enough?
Hello.
Of course.
Hashtag timing.
I can't speak too loudly right now because my mom's sleeping in the next room over, so I'll just probably listen for most of the night.
Hi, Mom!
Gee, oh my god.
Well, he did say he was a shit poster, so we should have expected that.
Yeah,
Yeet.
I
but
had,
we don't wake up his mom. Oh my god. That's the one
I,
Oh,
thing.
I'll wake her up. I'll keep her
I,
up all night long.
oh
Oh
my
my
god.
god,
No,
no.
no,
I got,
man, nah.
I got my headphones on.
Anyway, so are we
You
gonna
can't
talk
hear you
about
guys.
Gyoko or no?
You mean Gyoko? Okay,
Because the waterbender who can like
He's
trap
possessed
people.
by a crazed art spirit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm just
I mean,
honestly, you know
he
how
could
he's a
just be a
fish? Like, you know how he's a fish and obsessed with art? I'm just thinking of that childhood book of like that rainbow fish with the silver
the
scales that doesn't want
rainbow
to yeah,
fish.
that doesn't
Oh
want to
my
share anything. I'm
god.
just thinking of that right now.
I think
What if he like
um
tries to steal the souls of artists because he wants their talent?
And then every
or he could
scale
just be a
represents a
crazed
stolen soul.
waterbender, you know.
Yeah.
He could
He
just be a
paints
crazy
with blood.
waterbender. Yeah. He could just be a crazy waterbender who uses his waterbending to trap people in it and then gradually drown them. And like he can like have like these ice, ice stabby things. Like he did
Oh,
with
fuck.
Nitoriu.
I
All right.
just
So what
figured
have
out
you
the
guys been
perfect.
talking about?
Huh?
Oh, we got to Gyoko.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Guys, I thought of the perfect thing for Gyoko. He's a bloodbender.
I mean, now we're just going
He
into
turns people.
bloodbenders everywhere.
Yeah. Well, not everyone. But here's my thought. Gyoko, he he turns people into living works of art that he controls as his soldiers.
Oh my. Okay. Yeah. That's a good idea.
Well, I thought that Rui would also be like a waterbender and also a bloodbender, but he could only control his own blood. You know what I mean?
That's a thought. I was thinking Rui could be, a metal bender. Use steel cables, like steel wire, maybe. Or even an airbender.
Yeah, like the metal bending I think makes sense. Oh, what if Haganazuka is a metal bender, but he uses his prowess to make swords?
I think Rui
I
would
like
be.
that.
Hmm. I think Rui would be a metal bender just because if you look at what spiders represent, they do represent neutral Jing to an essence. Like they are not active
Yeah,
attackers, they're not active running away. They wait
they're
until the
patient.
prey. Yeah, they wait. They're patient until the prey gets
Yeah.
into the net, and then they go for everything.
Oh yeah,
I've
and
also been reading a lot of Yo- Secret Mission Yozakura family, and they have the steel spider
Oh,
technique,
Kyoj, you
which
Yeah.
mean brother
uses
Kyojiro? Nice.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
perfect brother.
when I saw your fan art of the spider thing that Machine Core sent the other day, I was just like, that just reminds me of Brother Kyojiro from Yokozuna Family right there, just because of the gloves and everything.
Oh
all right.
yeah.
So far we've been
So
talking a lot about
Gyutaro
the.
and Daki, should we move on to them?
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, sure.
Gyutaro. Uh.
They're siblings, and they are kind of technically fused to each other. So, what do we want in that respect?
I'm leaning towards water because I associate Gyutaro with poison, and they're both very fluid, but maybe something else.
And when I think of spirits from the Avatar world, I sort of think of the Mother of all faces versus the Face Stealer in
Hmm.
reference to it. I mean, just in terms of multiple things being fused to each other. But hey, I mean, that's just my thinking. I mean, we don't necessarily there's no real good answer to the perfect
Shit!
answer to
I
both
just
of
had a
them.
cool thought. So, dead people can become spirits.
Yeah.
What if?
Oh.
What?
Oh.
Yeah. Do you see where I'm going? Do you want to say it?
Yeah, so Gyutar and Daki died, but then a spirit fused them together and is now
Or
wreaking
even,
havoc.
even Gyutaro dies, but he wants so badly to protect Daki that it warps his spirit. He becomes the dark spirit that works with Daki.
Wait, then what about Sabito?
And Mokomo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they can be alive.
I mean, there are ghosts in like spirit ghosts in essence. I mean, you do see Iroh. There's the spirit of the painted lady from
Yeah,
that
like
episode.
spirit world.
I'm
Mhm.
thinking, what, like, because you don't need to be a dark spirit to do the whole, like, changing bending thing. It could be
Mhm.
cool to have, like someone like Makomo or Sabito or both, like help with bending. Like imagine Gyu going full like false avatar by having the two of them like change his bending rapidly. And like he could actually bend two elements at once because he had two spirits with him. But it probably like fucking hurt. Or we could keep them alive because everyone loves Sabito and Makima.
Yeah,
Um,
everyone loves them.
All right, so I think we are we done with all the upper moons?
except Kaigaku.
Lightning
Yeah.
Bender.
Yep.
No, he's the firebender that only does lightning. But the way that's a Zenitsu concept from earlier.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to figure out how to differentiate them. Because one of the big things is like one of them perfected this one thing, and one of them could do everything but this one thing. So you could almost say Kaigaku's a firebender who could never actually produce lightning, which feels weird, but at the same time, I feel like makes sense.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
And do you guys want to
Meanwhile,
like
you have
look at
Zenitsu
some?
who. Oh,
Yeah,
you go.
yeah.
Sorry.
I don't know. Go because I was gonna move away from that topic. So you go first.
I was going to say, like, conversely, then you could say that Zenitsu's a firebender who could only do lightning.
Hmm. I mean, lightning does require a lot of focus, so it could represent Zenitsu's focus on that one task.
Hmm. And
So
maybe he can't do fire because like he is too anxious.
Yeah, he's not
You know?
really
He
aggressive.
doesn't have the passion. He's too
Yeah, he
focused.
doesn't have the passion, but he does have like hard work and focus, which allows him to do lightning.
No, but at the same time, like we see, like the idea of fire being rage and attack doesn't hold up scrutiny to when you get to the first firebenders, like in that one episode in Avatar. It becomes more about like life and determination. And Zenitsu does have determination at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
But does he have passion? I
But
feel like he had
Or
like his
Nezuko.
emotions are too peacefulness and floaty. Like, yeah, he loves women. He wants to be married. He wants to have a life, but he doesn't have that directed passion behind it. It's more of like loose goals because he's missing things.
because he
You know,
he wants to have a family because he never had one growing up because his parents like abandoned him or
exactly.
something.
Every powerful firebender we can see have clear goals, and when those goals fall apart, we see them fall apart. Ozai, Iroh, Zuko all know exactly what they want, and the better they know it, the stronger they get.
Azula.
But when you look at Azula, when she becomes her weakest is when she loses a sense of what she wants and who she is.
Well, that's tactically speaking, that's in reference to her fighting prowess. Her ability to firebend, not so much.
Well, she's still very passionate, but she's starting to lose that directed passion. she wants to be great, but she doesn't really understand what that greatness is in. She's
But
kind of
then,
losing.
does that mean firebending is dependent on the passion you feel for something, or is it the passion, the amount of passion? Because in theory, well,
Somewhere in between.
it's a gray area because it's not exactly passion in reference to the amount or the fact that it's there. Like it's kind of in between for the most part. Because even
Yeah.
though the passion, she loses a lot of the direction in terms of like later. We do see in the comics that Azula does still firebend, even if she's sloppy, because but that's because of her mental state. But anyway, getting back to my point is Azula can still wield powerful flames. So that would make so the idea like if anything, what you're suggesting is using that system at least. Azula's flames would have to get weaker, but they don't.
Fair.
All right, I know I'm going a little back a little bit, but um, what if when Zenitsu was young, he was struck by lightning, which blocked the chi flow like required for firebending?
Oh,
Then
that's
would
Okay,
he?
yeah,
interesting.
Ah,
Block his
yeah.
chakra.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Just-
How did we all forget that?
Oh, I did
Until
too.
California brought it up.
The
Because you
last thing I
guys are
remember
too
saying about
roundabout.
chakras is Genya shooting you in the chakras.
Again, shoot you the chop.
oh my god.
Bang, bang, get chi blocked.
I
Enya
thought
ate the
chakras
chakras.
meant another thing.
Oh, you're gonna shoot it. Shoot it.
Well, chakras
You
mean a
can.
lot of things, but if you pay attention in Avatar, they mention all the areas of the chakras except for the second chakra, for reasons that anyone who studies where they are in actual real life will understand why they didn't put it in a kid show.
Is it the dick and balls or is it the penis?
At the base they say the first one is at the base of the spine, so like at the very bottom, like when you sit down
So
cross-legged.
the ass.
Yes.
The tailbone.
Yeah,
The
but then
tailbone.
the second, yes, the tailbone. But then the second one is literally right above your sexual organs. So they didn't explicitly say that in Avatar because it would be a kids because the kids wouldn't. It's a kids show, man.
Yeah. I think Aang's a little too young to be opening up that chakra.
Certainly,
Young.
Uh,
He's
he's
300 years
certainly not young enough to have a
old.
crush on Katara though. And that's pleasure to the
He's
extent.
300. Okay. We're not talking about chronological age here, cause like he
Oh my god, I just realized
No,
he's a lolly. Aang is a lolly.
he's a
oh
Shota.
Jesus.
He's a
no,
Shota.
so
Okay.
no, but technically speaking, he's a chronological lily. Biologically and mentally speaking, he is not at all.
Shota.
Yeah, Shota.
Yeah, he's a chronological Shota.
Right.
Alright, so we've been
Okay.
going for almost an hour now.
I
We've
think we're gonna
covered
get
all
banned from
the
YouTube
upper
at this
moons.
point.
We've covered all the upper moons. I think we should talk about Enmu real quick and then call it there. We can always pick this up for another episode where we talk more about, because we got a lot of our concepts down. Maybe next time we'll talk about more of the good guys, and then maybe we can talk about plot, like suggest stories.
Also, we've been focusing on a lot of K and Y characters, but we haven't really gone over what some like purely Avatar characters might be like. Like for example, Piandao might be like a flower bender or something. I mean,
I
Breath
could
of
see
Flower
that.
Caesar.
Well, they would
But
be
I feel
more
like that's
akin to
kind of like
OCs, more because Avatar characters, the amount of Avatar characters of significance, of some significance that there's enough people would know when we're talking about, is far greater than that in K and Y, relatively speaking.
and also I feel like KMY honestly has a less interesting world, at least in its base. The
Mhm.
characters are a big thing that like pushes that series along, but the concepts in it are honestly rather simple.
Mhm.
And even in my AU, I had to rework the entire series to really feel like I was getting at a good beat of a world to build in. Um, so that's why I feel like we tend to put the KMY characters who have great, personalities into other universes' worlds instead of
Mhm.
bringing their characters into the KNY world.
Yeah, I
Well,
agree. I agree with you there, DCC. Like the Rogue fanfiction, the one that I'm working on right now and publishing currently. That one focuses more on building the philosophical underpinnings, which I've noticed, or rather, that the KNY universe and canon could benefit from. The one where I'm bringing the Hindu Buddhist pantheon, like that's a full more rework along your lines, relatively speaking, because it's a little simpler in retrospect.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you guys want to finish up Enmu, and then
Yep.
Enmu,
yeah,
and then we have to say what do our Shinobu and Gyu's characters? That's what all I want to know before we end this.
Waterbender, bloodbender.
yeah, Shinobu's a fucking bloodbender, hands down. Like,
But
she tries not to use it. You know, she tries
but
to be
does
like a
she
land bender
die?
like her sister, but when she gets angry, she's like, "Fuck the vines, I'm a bend your veins."
Vein bending.
Fuck the rules.
How many women seeking cosmetics would want that kind of bending? You can bend the veins, varicose veins, where they want.
You know what? Gatoge would love that bending, okay?
I'm not saying she wouldn't. I'm just saying, like, if you put it that way, like vein bending, like, there's a lot more applications than just blood bending here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like,
Shinobu could become
uh,
rich.
doctors,
Yep.
you know?
Y'all can bend my vein. No, I'm kidding.
Say that for your fiance, man.
Hey, she's asleep.
I
But yeah, so let's get back to Lower Moon 1. The dream demon.
He just uses drugs. He just, I
Like he
feel
might
like
just be a non-bender.
he might be a non-bender who just pumps people with drugs.
Or I think he could be a good airbender. Because
So
let
he
me
Because
ask you
he's
sucks.
full
this.
of hot air about how important he is.
No, think about this.
Maybe he makes vape, like, vapes and, like, gets people high on them.
You just want
Now
Sarame in,
hear
don't
me,
you?
hear me out. Why do you yawn?
You're resetting your circadian rhythms, or you're adjusting your circadian rhythms because you're
You
Yeah,
tired.
try to take in more oxygen when you get tired. Because if you lose enough oxygen, you start to lose consciousness. He puts people to sleep by slowly draining the air. Not as abruptly as what Zahir did, but like in a more subtle way. So he slowly changes the air pressure and sucks the air out of your body so you become more tired.
oh, and he
Yeah,
puts you into a
I kind of like
hallucinogenic
that.
state.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
like air decompression, like what you see in certain space station areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
also you could even have him have hallucinogenic gases and he just air bends them into the air. You don't even notice.
All
Oh
right,
my god, that's cool.
all right. So I think our last one's Gyu, right?
Well, I just said I wanted to know if Gyu and Shinobu lived. We don't have to go into their character designs today, but yeah.
If you want to have Shiyu and Ganibu,
Shioganibu.
Shiyu and Ganipu.
That's actually a good
just
name. That should be the official ship name,
Yeah.
Shioganibu.
The Japanese people, that just sounds like you're trying to ask them to both die. You know the word, you know the meaning SHI, she sounds like the word for death, right?
Mm-hmm.
yes, I know.
But
Shinigami.
it doesn't have a shini, only a she.
Yeah,
Anyway,
close enough.
if you want to ship those two and have them live, go ahead. That's up to you. If you want to kill them off, go ahead. A lot of people hate Gyu. Maybe you hate Gyu. Everyone hates Gyu. It's fine.
I'm just saying it from my perspective, but yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, we did
All
kill
right.
off Kanai anyway, made her in the moon, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
Fuck
I
you for
don't
that. No, I'm
care
kidding.
enough
Hey,
about
I
them
mean,
to
hey,
kill them off.
that was not, again, that was not me thinking about what that implied, all right?
Yeah. I just I just love the thought of, Tsunemi being like, my last girlfriend turned into the moon, and then Kyojuro being Zuko and be like, that's
That's rough,
rough,
buddy.
man.
No, but at the end of the day, that's just death to Sanemi and Kanai shippers because eventually Sokka goes for Suki. So you're saying Sanemi eventually gets over Kanai then?
Yeah, but then who would be Suki? We would need a non-bender.
Ew.
All right. I think shipping's like a whole different like. It's for a whole nother like discussion.
Hey, when you make anime,
That's fair.
people will ship anything.
Yep.
Right. So, on one final note,
No, okay, but let's
everyone
get
hates
back to
Gyu.
low. Yeah, let's get back to our final note. So, What would Giyu be? Because he is kind of like borderline suicidal.
Waterbender.
Thirsty.
No discussion whatsoever.
Hmm.
I am noticing we didn't mention Yahaba or Susumaru, but do you guys want to like discuss this next
Actually,
time?
actually, we could just go to Yahaba and Susumaru and save Giyu for another time because I feel like Giyu is a more complex in terms of adapting to Avatar.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I'm
so
gonna go out on a limb and say Susumaru is an Earthbender, Yahaba is an Airbender. What do you guys think?
I
I
think
agree with that.
would make sense unless Susumaru's like balls are inflated. uh, I mean,
I didn't realize she had any.
but if her balls are inflated, then she could manipulate the air inside of the balls to attack people.
The way you say balls just makes me uncomfortable.
balls.
If the multiple of ball is inflated, then she can use some to attack.
Okay, no, okay, Snack, you don't have to like just say that because you're like just joking with you.
Okay.
It hurt Kamari's.
Yeah,
Even
tamales.
that sounds dirty now. Thanks.
I thought you said tamales for a minute. I'm like, you're getting Mexican food here, bro.
Oh, yeah, she's got a nice pair of tamales on her chest. No, I'm kidding.
But yeah, like yeah. So her, yeah, her Tamari, not the Naruto character. Anyway, if if she's manipulating her Tamaris, we have to also remember like at the beginning, Yahaba used his arrows to direct some of the Tamaris while in Tanjiro until they separated, of
Oh,
course.
that's true. Maybe she like is an earthbender who makes them like makes tamaris out of the ground, and Yahaba helps to direct them.
They could be
But
geodes.
then
They
if
could
we're
be
going
geode
that route, I
Tamaris.
would say maybe he could be a waterbender instead of an airbender because air pressure wouldn't push him as hard, but water pressure is more powerful. So maybe like he conducts the balls with water.
Yeah.
Like, what if it's water vapor he's controlling? Yahaba.
Why?
No, if it's a water, no, if it's water vapor, it's still water though. So
I
if you're
know. I'm just asking why water vapor.
no, because then it gives the illusion that he's an airbender when in reality he's not. He's a waterbender making use of the gaseous form of water.
That's fair.
Yeah, I kind of like that because Tendro uses Breath of Water against him and to like control the arrows. You know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's a good idea.
Like in theory, like that is like I don't know how how much mass each person would need to accumulate for a waterbending to be effective in canon, but I did always think like if people in the Avatar universe were able to recognize like this the ability of water vapor, because I know that they did because when they were in the desert they did the whole clouds into water thing. They should be able to move it in that
Cactus
respect.
juice.
All right, this call has gone on for too long. I need sleep, so you
Y'all need
guys
to
want to like
shut
end it
up.
now?
No.
I mean, okay, but I think we did pretty well for this podcast,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
I think they did a good
Yeah.
job, even though it's over an hour long.
Hey, if it needs, we had a good talk. Let's put it that way, all right?
Mhm.
Wait, so how long was
you
the first one?
you sound like a guidance counselor. Oh, we had a good talk.
Well, did we have a good talk?
Yes.
You're not
Okay,
my
there
real
we
dad.
go. There we go. But yeah, all right, to everybody watching, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Breath of Fiction. Hope you guys had the patience to go through this hour plus podcast. And if you didn't, please go back because trust me, you'll get more laughs out of it. But anyway, that's been enough for one night, and we hope to see you again next
I
time, right?
actually find to be funny.
What? Oh, come on, dude.
I
I just
said,
got the
oh,
good
right.
entrance. I had the good
Thank you.
outro, and now you're just doing this to me, man.
Well, I could give you a better outro. Just give me 2 seconds to pull up Rick Astley.
All right, go for it.
No.
Go for it then.
No, I'm kidding.
Right.
In all seriousness, guys, hope
Next
you
time
enjoyed.
we gotta have like outro music.
No, we'll edit that into it, okay? We'll just edit that into this.
Yeah.
Let's do
I
Homura.
mean, we already added on a digital artist, so we can get a musical artist.
Non-copyright
What about a
only.
KY band?
Non-copyright only.
Guys, let's
Hey, they
like
can't
start a band.
copyright if it's original.
Yeah, but how much effort does it take to make original that sounds catchy? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Don't
no,
ask
but
me.
yeah, for the
I have no rhythm.
yeah.
Guys, I think
Okay, out of consideration for California, we're just gonna say this. All right. Thanks again.
Whoa, don't push this onto me.
Hey, you were the one who said this has gone on for too long and you gotta sleep. Don't try to say that it ain't because of that. We were
Well,
having a nice conversation.
one of you guys like said something like 5 minutes ago. I'm just like bringing it back up.
All right, fine. But yeah, anyway, from all of us, not saying who anymore because it is actually long. Thanks again
Not
for thanks again for watching the podcast. Please watch it again. Hope you had fun and we hope to see you again for the next one. All right? Hopefully not as long. But either way,
thank you.
Have a good night.
have a good night everybody.
Be safe.
Night.